coming up next.
Hey, friend, let me ask you a question today. When's the last time you came in last place? Everybody else has crossed the finish line. They're waiting for you to make it. Whatever the project was, you know you got the worst grade. Whatever the effort was, you know you just didn't have it in you. When's the last time?
Welcome to Overwhelmed to Overcomer podcast with coach, encourager, and strategist Anna McLaughlin. If you're a Christian woman who has big dreams rooted in an even bigger God, but most days those dreams feel completely out of reach, trust me, I get it. As a homeschooling mama of 4, entrepreneur, investor, and all-around wearer of many hats, I am right there with you. And yet the Lord invites us to live out our God-given purpose now, in the midst of the madness. So, let's explore together how we can know our calling and walk in it today, with clarity, with courage, with each other. It's time for you to live the life you love and love the life you live. Let's do this thing.
If I can hazard a guess, it's been a while. Adulthood affords us a lot of gifts, not least of which is the opportunity to choose. No, thank you. I don't want to go out for President's Physical Fitness. I don't want to try a pull-up. I don't want to run the race. I'm going to choose this career over that one because it's familiar and within my giftings. And that's not a bad thing. But what I want to invite you to today is to just reflect on the gift of failure and how it might be that there's an invitation for you this summer to stretch into that space of completely whiffing it. Maybe not just to grow, maybe for the joy, maybe for the connection. Where this came to mind for me and where I decided, okay, we got to talk about this is I have been, as many of you know, if you've been listening to the podcast for, since the beginning of this year, or really even before that, one of the things I've shared very openly is that finding a rhythm around movement and stewarding my health through like physical fitness, whatever that looks like. I don't always like the word exercise because it just sounds like there's like some sort of script we're supposed to follow. Maybe we know how to do it, maybe we don't. Maybe a walk doesn't count. It should, right? Whatever is self-care for our body by meeting that point of resistance and stretching beyond it. It's been a challenge for me, but I found a gym that I love and got connected with them. If you want to hear their ethos and why I love them so, Katrina Riffle was a guest on my podcast twice in January, talking about strength training and nourishment. So I've been getting my footing there. I was new in October, super uncertain, but got my footing, found my rhythm. Well, then they opened up a class it's called High Rocks. I'm like, I don't even know what this is. It sounds hard, but it's all conditioning. And it's the time that it meets is really the best time all week for me to make it to the gym. So I was like, I am choosing this not because I want it. There is no part of me that wants it, but because it is one of my only options. So I showed up last Thursday and I died. It had been so many moons since I had run, so many moons since I had chosen to do any sort of interval, anything. And it was brutal. Started off kind of keeping pace with the people that I was working with. And by the end, I was just excited to finish. My Bible study ladies were howling. I could almost not even walk. I left something in my car and I went out to go grab it. And one of my friends was walking in. She saw the look on my face. Took her a minute. She was like, "Are you okay?" Like, that car looks really far away, but my Bible's in there. She went and grabbed it for me. That's how bad I looked. Okay, so just to paint the picture, but here's what happened that I had forgotten about. And it kind of chokes me up just thinking about it because I want to invite you into this space too. Do you know what happened at the end? As I'm hoofing and struggling and hating life and wanting so badly to walk, they started cheering me on. These people who could run circles around me, first, second, third place, no question. These people who knew what they were doing were filled with confidence and competence. Guess who they cheered on? Yes, I'm sure they celebrated one another. That's part of it too. But you know who they looked to really celebrate? It's the one who's new. It's the one who's stretching outside of their comfort zone. My heart feels so tender. Friend, get out there. Where are you avoiding going? What are you avoiding doing? Because, yeah, it's vulnerable. It's vulnerable to be in that place where you don't know the rules, you don't know the rhythms, you don't know the expectations, to walk into a new kind of church, to volunteer for something where maybe they don't clarify on the website. Is there an age requirement? Is there some sort of skill set I need, right? To apply for a job and you see the qualifications and one of them on the list makes your heart sink. I don't know that I have that yet. It's when we step outside of these tiny little boxes that we might be tempted to stay shut in, that people look at us and say, "You're doing so great. You didn't think you could, but look at you." So there are a few things that happen. And I've had the others in mind because, I'm a coach, right? I call people into spaces that they're not ready to go, call myself into spaces that I'm not ready to go. My children, my husband, they love it. I'm sure you can guess, right? One of the hazards of the job. So I knew this is part of stewardship, right? And we've talked in here before about the parable of the talents. The blessing, I'm just going to remind you, or maybe you haven't even heard it before, if you haven't been in here for this conversation. The blessing was the same for the 5 talent servant and the 2 talent servant. Actually, we're going to go there. We're flipping some Bible pages because we need to make sure this gets dialed into our sweet, sweet spirits today. Okay. So we're headed to Matthew 25. I use my dad's Bible when I podcast, which is a funky version. It's one I don't usually use. It's the New Revised Standard. It's not that it's funky. It's the New Revised Standard. It's one I don't typically use. I'm typically an NIV or ESV girl. Okay. So, but it's just precious. It's precious to use his Bible. Okay. So it's talking about what the kingdom of heaven is going to be like. I'm going to read you this whole thing because I want you to hear it. Okay. For let's see. We're going to stop where the 2 talent servant because that's our focus. Okay. For it is as if a man going on a journey summoned his slaves and entrusted his property to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, to another 1, to each according to his ability. Then he went away. The one who had received the 5 talents went off at once, and traded with them and made 5 more talents. In the same way, the one who had the 2 talents made 2 more talents. But the one who had received the 1 talent went off and dug a hole in the ground and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those slaves came and settled accounts with them. He is going to settle accounts with us. What did we do with what we've been given, right? Then the one who had received the 5 talents came forward, bringing 5 more talents, saying, "Master, you handed over to me 5 talents. See, I have made 5 more talents." His master said to him, "Well done, good and trustworthy slave." Or good and faithful servant, as another version says. "You have been trustworthy in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master." All right, now listen. And the one with the 2 talents also came forward, saying, "Master, you handed to me 2 talents. See, I have made 2 more talents." His master said to him, same exact words, "Well done, good and trustworthy slave. You have been trustworthy in a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Enter into the joy of your master." Now, one last thing, I'm just going to note this because this is, no, okay, I can't help it. We have to read this. It is not bad to just soak. I know, listen, I know sometimes we hit the ground and our feet are already moving and we don't stop until our head hits the pillow. So you are here, you're listening to this. We're going to soak in the word and let it do things to us, okay? The word is a two-edged sword. It refines just the hearing of it, okay? Then the one who had received the 1 talent also came forward, saying, "Master, I knew that you were a harsh man. I knew that you were a harsh man, reaping where you did not sow and gathering where you did not scatter seed. So I was afraid, and I went and hid your talent in the ground. Here you have what is yours." But his master replied, "You wicked and lazy slave. You knew, did you, that I reap where I did not sow and gather where I did not scatter? Then you ought to have invested my money with the bankers, and on my return I would have received what was my own with interest. So take the talent from him and give it to the one with the 10 talents. For to all those who have, more will be given, and they will have an abundance. But from those who have nothing, even what they have will be taken away. As for this worthless slave, throw him into the outer darkness, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Listen, this is so important. Why did he bury the talent? Because he knew God to be a harsh man. Now, the master reaffirms what is true. The master does not reaffirm that he is a harsh man. The slave misunderstood the intention behind the master's works, the results, right? He saw the results and he's like, I know what that is, right? But it does not have to be so. And indeed, it is not so because this is the kingdom of heaven. It's speaking about the Lord, right? So he is not harsh, but indeed he does reap where he does not sow and gather where he doesn't scatter seed. Why? Because the earth is the Lord's and everything in it. This is his. The slave doesn't understand the bounty and the expansion of the master's kingdom, and for fear, he refused to use what was given, right? And yet our call is to bear much fruit. So here's what I want to invite you into. I want you to celebrate your 2 talent spaces. I want you to think about, it was such a gift to me, as hard as the road was, and as much as I would have given anything for it to be otherwise, but I will not waste his suffering. It was such a gift to me that my father was in a wheelchair because I couldn't take my legs for granted, right? Like I saw every day what it cost him to not have his mobility. And it gave me a sense of reverence and gratitude for the small things. Like, we've got feet, we have arms, we have strength in our bodies. How do we keep it? By using it from a place of gratitude, right? We have the ability to enjoy and digest food. We have the ability to have a roof over our heads. And so I want to invite you, think about these things. Think about the places that the Lord has graced you that maybe are getting a little undertended. Or what's something you love or used to love? Because here's the deal. Oh, this is important. There is no place that it is harder to be last where you used to be first. Can I get an amen on that? That is there's a vulnerability to that. I was a sprinter, right? I was decent. I would do the meets. I could hold my own. I was a rower, tons of conditioning in high school. And I had seasons where I ran, but then I had babies. And straight talk, ladies, nothing's more uncomfortable than trying to run after having some kids. And all you gotta think about is where's the nearest bathroom? I don't know how long I don't know how long everything's gonna hold together, right? Let's just put it that way. It's really hard to go from, I remember pumping my legs and pumping my arms. It's so fast. I remember the joy of it. But now, right? Think about Eric Liddell. He was a missionary to China, but he's most famous for what's depicted in Chariots of Fire, how he ran in the Olympics in 1924, and he refused to run his race. His staple signature race was the 100. Refused to run because the initial heat was on the Sabbath. And that was one of his convictions before the Lord. Well, everybody got involved in the conversation. He was Scottish, including the king, right? What a waste. You've given away the medal. He, having found out, they make it sound in the movie like everything was super last minute, but having found out that the heat was on a Sunday, he selected 2 other races that he could compete in that wouldn't violate his convictions. So he ran the 400 and the 200. And when the day of the race came, so the 400, if you don't know this about running, so the 100 is 1/4 of a track, of a racetrack. 200 is a half. The 400 is considered, the 400, 800 have to be run as a sprint, but they're really middle distance. It is a brutal race, absolutely brutal. Okay. The hardest. My brother ran the 100 or the 400 and the 4x4, which were like the 4x4 was always the last race at track meets. He ran in college. So proud. Okay, so here he chooses to run what is in no way his race. How easy it would be to come in last. How easy it would be to face that vulnerability, right? But the day of the race comes and he crushes it. He wins gold in the Olympics, always celebrated. Okay, so here's this man. So first of all, there's that moment of choosing to do the thing that he really wasn't built for, right? Like it's a stretch to run into that middle distance. And he did it. But then towards the end of his life, so he goes as a missionary to China. And when he's in his late 30s, early 40s, the war between Japan and China heats up. He sends his wife and his children to Canada, where she's from, to weather the war. He stays, and he's interned in a prisoner of war camp, or not prisoner of war, but like they've created an internment camp for the Chinese and for like expats, people that were missionaries or from other countries. And so they're in this internment camp and he gets sick. Come to find out he has a tumor. And here he is trying to he was a beautiful man of God. He's trying to create this culture for all of the people in the camp. And one of the things that he did was athletics for the kids. And there came a day where he set out to race one of them. May have even been a few. I don't remember the exact details, but I'm going to paint the picture for you. So excuse a little bit of artistic liberties, but he sets out to run this race with some other kids or adults or whatever it is, and he loses. His body is so racked from malnutrition, from fatigue, and from this disease that eventually will take his life. He turns around and shakes the hand of the person who beat him, gracious all the way through. At one point or another in our lives, we're going to have to give up first. Second, third, fourth, they're all going to slide by. There will come a day where we're tired and we're aging and we're doing well just to step up to the plate. And I want to invite you, friend, just embrace finishing last. Show up. Not just because it's what we're called to do, not just because it's what we've been given, these gifts we've been given, however limited they may be. Not just because it calls us to stretch into new spaces, to grow and refine and to go where He's really called us. Not just because it keeps us humble, although maybe that's the most important thing. But I also just want to remind you, it's in these moments that we are just endeared to those around us. They get to cheer us on, they get to love on us, and they get to show us, I'm so proud of you. You're doing so great. It helps them remember I was new once too, and generously give of their love and encouragement. It's a humbling place to stand, finishing last. But just know today, if nowhere else in your corner of the world than right here, you are not alone. I'm going to keep showing up, being willing to finish last. And I want to invite you today to do the same. So, where are you going to finish last this week? Think about that. Send me a message. I want to hear. Send me an email. If you're not on my email list already, be sure to get connected with that. I send out encouragement about once a week. This is just a way for me to just extend love and care to you. And if I can do anything else to serve you, please let me know. In the meantime, as always, you've got this because He's got you.
Friend, thank you so much for listening to this most recent episode of Overwhelmed to Overcomer. So listen, the whole idea behind this mission is that when we endeavor to be brave with our lives, we need to do it together. Belonging is key. So if you resonated with the message from this episode, share it with a friend. Do it together. Thank you again. And until next time, never forget, you've got this because He's got you.